Jon, over to you.
Thank you, Darren. Yes, Rachael Maskell MP for York Central, who a few minutes ago emerged from the Chief Whip's office. I have to say, you look quite emotional. You said you were upset rather than angry. Tell us what's happened this afternoon.
Well, I've had a really positive discussion with the Chief Whip about my values, about the purpose of politics, about where I come from in politics, whether that's from my faith or my experience and representing my constituents. And I come here with those values because my constituents have given me a mandate to speak up for them when they have need. And clearly, obviously, we've had a big debate over the value of disabled people who have no agency and no voice on so many occasions in our society. And I want to make sure that they're heard, their needs are met, and that's why I've been so strong standing for disabled people. I have all my life. I worked as a physiotherapist. They've always been so heavy on my heart. So being able to be elected to this place is a privilege, to be able to ensure that we do the very best for disabled people, and that's really what I wanted to ensure through this.
You spoke about your faith, and you spoke about lines that you cannot cross. Tell us about your faith and the lines you cannot cross.
Well, when the evidence was so strong that people would die as a result of these changes, having money taken away from them, people we know have serious mental health challenges, and we've got to protect those people in our society. I believe that. So I could not have on my conscience something where we know that people would take their own lives if they had insufficiency. And I spoke to my constituents because, like I reach into Downing Street and ministers here, I reach out into my constituency, and I met many disabled people who basically said their dignity was being taken from them, their very ability to provide was being taken. Even one person I spoke in the debate so passionately about, a constituent whose little girl was next to him, and he said, I just won't be here. So of course I'm going to speak up for those people who are voiceless if I did not. So that's why I make the statements that I do and really hold by that.
There are only 4 Labour MPs who've lost the whip, and yet there were 47, I think it was, rebels in that vote a few weeks ago. Are you annoyed that you've been singled out? If I may say, you're not one of the usual suspects. You're not a natural rebel, really, although you have on this issue, and I think you've spoken out also on the winter fuel payments. What do you think about the fact that there's only 4 who've been suspended, that you appear to have been singled out as perhaps a ringleader of the rebels?
Well, first of all, I don't see myself as a rebel, but somebody that is prepared to fulfil my role here of holding the executive to account and speaking truth to power. And I'm somebody that is a bridge builder in life and really reaches in to a situation. And I hold my hand out to the Prime Minister and hope he takes that and wants to reach back. Because I think it's really important that we work together. That's where the Labour Party came from. But, you know, obviously choices have been made today. I'm not going to comment on that. But what I am saying is that there is a special purpose to the Labour Party, and that is to speak for those people in our society who have felt so disenfranchised because of 14 years of having broken public services and having an economy in tatters, and people are paying heavily for that. And of course, I want to see Labour succeed. I've fought so hard all my life for this party, and that will continue because I believe that Labour has got the ability and has got the opportunity to really transform people's lives. And it's right that we get people into work. I want to see that happen, but I want to protect and look after people when they're at their most fragile.
You mentioned the Prime Minister. I know you speak to the Chief Whip. Have you spoken to the Prime Minister about this? Because he has been criticised by some of your colleagues for not taking the trouble to speak to MPs like you who have serious concerns about this. Have you talked to the PM?
Look, I recognise the world is falling apart at the moment, and the Prime Minister has got his hands rightly full with all of those challenges. I have written to the Prime Minister, of course, over this. I've reached in. I haven't spoken to him this afternoon. Obviously, I've just been suspended. But I really do hope, I say to Keir Starmer and everyone really within our party, I'm here and I'm really willing to engage with them because I want us to get this right. I want this to be the greatest government that has ever been. That is my ambition every day because my constituents deserve a really good outcome from this government. So, of course, I will continue doing what I always do in this place.
But did you speak to the Prime Minister in the week of that big rebellion? There was criticism that he didn't, for example, call rebel MPs or potential rebel MPs into his office, that he was a bit distant. OK, you're saying he's a busy chap with all this, all the international affairs and so on. But did he speak to you in the run-up to that vote?
I didn't speak to the Prime Minister, but I did speak to the Secretary of State and ministers because, as I say, I always push in because I think it's really important to speak wherever we can. We are a parliament, that's about speaking, and therefore, of course, I take every opportunity of every platform to be able to do that.
What happens now? You presumably will carry on the fight for your constituents. What happens now? What are you going to do next?
Well, my values haven't changed and the needs of my constituents haven't changed, and I'm really looking forward to the summer recess, being in my constituency and picking up the issues that they want me to advocate when we come back after the summer.
Presumably you won't be able to attend the Labour Party conference in September. If you're, well, you tell me, you're a party member, perhaps you will be. What's your understanding about your status when it comes to the Labour Party conference and potentially a big debate about welfare?
Well, I haven't, to be honest, I haven't discussed Labour Party conference. You know, I've said that I'm around, I'm willing to talk to everyone. Let's take each day as it comes, but I've got a lot of work to do in my constituency, and I think for the next couple of months that's where my focus will be.
And I guess you would hope to get the whip back at some point, as some previous rebels have.
Absolutely. I'm Labour to the core. Whichever way you cut me, I am Labour. I'm also a Co-op Party member as well, so that's really important to me too. So I'll continue to be Labour, even if I can't sit as a Labour MP for the time being. Hopefully soon I'll be able to.
Which side of the Commons are you going to sit on? Because John McDonnell, who's suspended, he sits on the Labour side, doesn't he? Are you going to still sit on the Labour side, not going to go on the opposition side?
Oh, 100% on the Labour side. I am Labour, so no question about that.
Not tempted by Mr Corbyn's party?
No, not at all.
Rachael Maskell, thank you so much for talking to us, and I know it's been an emotional afternoon for you, and you said how upset you were, so thank you for taking the trouble to talk to Sky News. Thank you.